So, not fun. I like that. That's a nice. That's a better looking green. That's fire. Yeah, facts. I like that. I like that. Yeah, that shit is good. What time is it, bro?
Hey, sweetie. Someone stole my Old Spice antiperspirant. Now I'm smelling like perspirant. I did. Force 24/7 sun protection. You did this to my kids. Modern day Hollywood, the place where classic IPs are sent to die. In a constant cycle of sequels, remakes, and reboots, it dawned upon me that we've actually had some pretty good ones. Mad Max Fury Road, Peter Jackson's King Kong, The Mummy, Casino Royale. Wait a minute. You just killed James Bond. But this one stood out. One of the best underappreciated films of all time. One that I can easily call an underrated masterpiece. He said it! He said it! Dredd 3D is a remake of the 1995 Stallone-led film Judge Dredd. Oh, brother, this guy stinks! The reboot, written by Alex Garland, starring Carl Urban in the titular role, was a financial disaster upon release, only grossing $41 million on a budget of $50, although developing praise by critics and audience members alike. Since this year is the film's 10th anniversary, I thought, what a great time to look back at what many now consider a cult classic and find out why it's deemed so highly through its writing, characters, score, and creative filmmaking. Mega City 1, spanning the entire East Coast, is an urban wasteland, a hellhole. In this breeding ground for crime, the law is dispatched by those known as judges, who act as judge, jury, and executioner. When I was a wee young lad, I was easily scared. Jump around the corner and boom, I'd be running away with a stream of piss running down my leg. I honestly blame the Scary Maze game and the covers of 28 Weeks Later and Dead Island for that. But that'll change one day when I got my grubby little hands on a little known book series called Goosebumps. With the first two books releasing in July of 1992, R.L. Stine's money printing series has over, it has 200 books, and it's still going? Oh. Well, I stopped checking in with the series after the Horrorland line of books and have unfortunately untaught myself in the skill of reading. I have never stopped watching the Goosebumps television series since I first saw reruns of the show long ago on Cartoon Network. I love this campy old anthology series so much that I ended up piecing together the entire series on DVD, which is a pain in the ass since most of them only contain like 1 or 2 episodes per disc, with these 3 episodes never getting a DVD release in the States, so I had to do it myself. Why we couldn't get a complete series of the show like other countries? I don't know. At least this fared better than R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour. Don't even get me started on fuck that up. But as any kid-centric franchise being this successful, it's got to have merchandise. And oh boy is there a lot. Bookmarks, toys, board games, magnets, clocks, doorknob covers, bed sheets, tape dispenser, soap. Okay, if someone could help me find the cassette player, that'd be great. Oh yeah, video games, that's what I wanted to talk about today. So I brought this fright upon myself by beating every single one of the commercially released Goosebumps games. Viewers beware, I hope these aren't all shovelware. Our journey starts on the PC in 1996 with Goosebumps Escape from Horrorland. The game was developed and published by DreamWorks Interactive, who would go on to develop the Medal of Honor franchise, get purchased by EA in the early 2000s, just to be closed down 10 years later. Typical EA. So, not surprisingly, the only way to play it nowadays is with an original copy or an archive of it. I initially tried playing this on my Windows 7 machine in backwards compatibility mode, but the right colors just forgot to show up. So I then instead just used the virtual machine of Windows XP, and after messing around with some settings, I was able to get the game running perfect. Oh, okay, so now I'm there. Yeah, for whatever reason, every movement of my mouse was, how do you put it, very over-dramatic. And between messing with the game's mouse speed, the virtual machine's mouse speed, and my main computer's mouse speed, nothing seemed to fix that, so that's lovely. The game starts with a several-minute FMV cutscene catching you up with the plot of the book, as the TV episode wouldn't air for another year after the game coming out. I need you to come with me. The oldest sister of the family, Lizzie, suddenly can't find her brothers after finding another ticket to Horrorland.
This house is going nuts!
Some Evil Dead camera shots later, and both the player and Lizzie are fast traveled against your will to the first town in Horrorland, Werewolf Village. I will say that the blend of pre-rendered backgrounds with the FMV characters works really well, and honestly, the atmosphere of the game is killer. Even if I try to look around and enjoy it, and suddenly I'm moving at 300 miles an hour in a circle. Not too far away from where you dropped in, you find Luke and Clay locked up in Hillary
keys with no way to unlock them, so that means we're off to find the key. The gameplay is similar to many first-person point-and-click adventures of the day. You have a 360-degree view of an open area, and you click on nearby doors, pathways, windows, or garbage cans to interact and move to another location. You also have a bag you can access by swinging the mouse to the bottom of the screen that stores your items and tokens you've collected throughout the game. In the game menu, it shows how many out of the 777 tokens? Holy shit, no wonder you need 2 CD-ROMs to store this game. If you get attacked or hurt in the game, it takes tokens away from you that you can't get back. I don't think there's any actual incentive or progression reason to get said tokens, as there was nowhere in the game I could find to ever use them besides the hint wall in Werewolf Village. The actual item to look for in the game is 10 trading cards of highly compressed Goosebumps book covers that all provide a hint on the back of the card on what to do next in the game. Speaking of what to do next, after messing around in Horrorland Plaza, you both head back to check up on Lizzie's brothers, and oh, okay, well everything's on fire. Well, I ain't going that way. I guess I have to hang out with this worm. Ugh. Well, I guess I have no relation to this family. I can just probably find an exit back this way, and oh, okay, never mind, a werewolf has this corner. I thought the first goal of this puzzle was to poison the assault on my eyes over here before I die, but it's a much simpler puzzle than I expected, and suddenly the fire, along with everyone else, has vanished. Well, that doesn't last long, as you find Lizzie hanging out in the freezer, and then my least favorite part of the game occurs. The werewolf busts into the building, and once you leave, you have to run away and listen to where Lizzie is calling you, and point and click in that direction. In concept, sounds like a fine QuickTime event scene. However, when all of the audio sounds flat, you cannot tell which direction you're being called to, so you end up in an endless loop for 10 minutes, hoping you hit the right 3 to 4 correct inputs in a row that are randomized every time, so get used to this. After going through that mess, you end up back in Horrorland Plaza, where you'll trek through Vampire Village, Valley of the Lost Kings. Remember to turn off autoplay on your computer so the virtual machine can detect when you put the second disc in, all to find one of your 2 lost brothers.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Only to find out your parents are also lost in Horrorland too. So we're off to the next location, Dracula's Castle. Thankfully, Brother 2 is right inside the castle, just waiting to be eaten. But it's fine, we play around and squish the vampire and face Dracula ourselves. Okay, wait, no, that's Jeff Goldblum, that's not Dracula. Thankfully, pickpocketing Jeff is easy, and it's time to run away, because oh shit, he's pissed. Well, at least he's coughing some weird. Man, this is a long ride. I don't even think there's oxygen falls in. The last area of the game to explore is the Monster Mall. One more set of puzzles to solve, and the whole family is reunited once again for a second. Following your parents leads to the arena, where they're about to fall to their demise. It's okay, you guys. I'll be right back. Well, now that everyone else is tied up, we have the man behind the horrors finally revealing himself. It's much too late, huh? If you say so. Even with the finicky controls I'm dealing with, it's plenty of time to play a few rounds, as Simon says. Well, at least the kids made it home alive. Even if it seems their parents died in the fire. Oh, wait, never mind, they're right here. And just like any good Goosebumps story, our twist happens, and that's the game. The game itself is a very light point-and-click affair. It could easily be beaten in just over an hour. Even if the game is a bit simple, the amount of charm and attention to detail make up for it. The whole experience feels exactly like you're in the middle of a Goosebumps episode. So honestly, this is exactly what I was looking for at least one of these games I played in this quest today. If it weren't for all the FMVs being crunchitized to fit on 2 CDs, the game would still hold up pretty well today graphically. I didn't even mention the trash can tunnels that are in every location of the game. They appear to give you a lot of the tokens and a way to hop between areas of the game and have this fucker chasing you around in it. However, if you don't see the lever on the wall to open the gates, like maybe I did and had to go back and record footage of it, they're not necessary to go into, as I beat the entire game without exploring them. If you're a fan of 90s FMV games, or a Goosebumps fan wanting a game version of an episode, then I recommend trying it out if you could acquire a copy and get the game to run properly. Next up, Attack the Mutant. Released a year later in 1997, the game was also developed and published by DreamWorks Interactive, and is based upon the book and episode of the same name. Oh, hi, Momo. Hey, they even got Adam West to reprise his role from the TV episode, so hey, let's check this out. We'll try to avoid it. Same scenario as the last game, no mod of re-release, so running it in a virtual machine again. The game starts off with an FMV cutscene recreating the original episode's introduction. A random kid gets onto a bus and starts reading a comic based upon the masked mutant. Then we get quite possibly the most 90s looking CG of the heroes and villains of the game that love to get as close to the camera as humanly possible.
I've got vibes, you know.
Sure.
Really freaky visions.
Me too. Then we get introduced to the masked mutant. Of course they're coming! And his henchman, Rose Boy, and Tool over here, who looks like he's carrying an extra 4 set of teeth in his upper chin.
It's gonna be me who gets to run the world.
The story boils down like many comic book affairs do. Evil villains up to something, and our heroes have to go save the... Okay, sorry, I'll leave. We get off the bus to find ourselves a Doom clone? Not what I was expecting, but I'm intrigued. Unfortunately, it does not control like Doom, and you are unfortunately not able to remap all of the inputs, like movement, the most important one. So I mainly stuck with the original controls. You move with either the arrow keys or the movement on the mouse. Control is your shoot and interact buttons. Except for doors, that's the space key. The apostrophe key rotates the item you lifted. Slide is alt, return is jump. Looking up is page up, and looking down is the insert key. The menus look right out of a comic strip, and may not be the most functional, but I still really enjoy them. The game is more focused on collecting an item to progress to the next stage than combat. Combat sure does exist. Your main melee weapon is a rake, and depending on the floor you're on, you will have a frisbee gun. A majority of enemies just respawn and aren't a necessity in order to beat, so avoid it if you can. Every time you hop onto an elevator, it's going to throw you onto what feels like a random floor, but most of the time it's either the next floor the game wants you to be on to continue the story, or the previous floor you were on. That, or you just get teleported to the ice dimension. Every floor has a completely different theme to it, and besides the bottom floor and the 5th floor, you rarely revisit any floor more than once. On almost every floor, you get a cutscene, and besides the fact that no character knows what personal space is, I'm impressed at all the different pre-rendered cutscenes included in the game. Even though there's a whole league of good guys in the building, they all seem to rely on you, as they're either preoccupied with finding someone else, getting stuck in random places, or just running away like a little bitch. Gotta so. So it's up to you to stop the evil masked mutant from merging the real world with the comic book world by stopping his henchmen with bees, playing hockey wrong, and saving frog creatures from enslavement from someone who really needs acne cream. Meeting up with the League of Good Guys one last time, you race to the roof to finally face the masked mutant himself. This final boss is a bit of a challenge, mainly due to your controls and having to hit a specific target on the barrel behind him without getting blasted or falling to your death, but a few tries later and the mutant explodes and gets consumed by what I hope is monster blood. You get a small congratulations cutscene and a message saying, I forgot to collect one of the pieces of my suit. Oops. Well, if you do manage to get everything, which I didn't, as I forgot to save manually at any point in this game because the autosave is surprisingly good for a 90s PC game, you get an extra cutscene of you flying off, and that's the game. Attack of the Mutant is a fun experience for Goosebumps enjoyers and old-fashioned FPS fans. It's really hard to recommend going out of your way to play due to the lack of replay value and jankiness, but I think I still enjoyed it about the same as Escape from Horrorland. And like Escape from Horrorland, it's only going to take about an hour or so to beat. With the original series of books ending in 1997 and the show winding down in 98, the Goosebumps series was a bit more dormant for the early 2000s compared to the last decade. But don't fear, Wendy's Kids Meals will save us from a Goosebumps drought. That felt wrong to say out loud. Goosebumps, What's Different Challenge was one of many DVD games released for Wendy's Kids Meals back in 2006. Similar to the DVD version of I Spy Spooky Mansion from the last video, this is a DVD menu game where you look for things, which also means this is my controller. I got both of these on the same day, okay? Soup. This is a very simplistic spot the difference game using a similar setup to the DVD version of Spooky Mansion. You get a 4x5 square panel to select what's different about the image on the right from the picture on the left. While there's several to pick from, in order to beat the game, you only have to beat 3 puzzles. The game has...
That's what I'm talking about.
right out there tonight.